Greetings. This is Jeremy Coe from Real Vida TV with Real Vida News. I'm here with a special report. I'm in downtown Santa Fe, New Mexico, where Real Vida TV has been doing prison ministry the last few days. Have an important update that I wanted to get out to you guys as soon as possible. The story that we've been following so closely at Real Vida TV for many months now, which is the attack on Iran by Israel and the United States, has begun today. There was a massive airstrike by the Israeli Defense Forces that took out Ayatollah Khamenei, and according to numerous reports, it's been confirmed that the Ayatollah, who's been in power for 40 years, as well as 5 to 10 of his top leaders, were taken out in an Israeli airstrike. Now, that strike, of course, was in cooperation and close coordination with the United States, who was also striking targets. We want to show you right now some of the video that we've obtained that's going to show you a little bit better what's actually been taking place.
المشاك ها لا نروح مو مشاكين
אלפא על המטרה נפל.
Obviously, if you read or seen any of the quotes coming out of the Iranian regime over the last few months, you know the Iranians are not going to take this attack laying down. They have launched counterattacks. They've launched many missiles towards Israel. Approximately 40 of those missiles were not intercepted. At least one woman was killed. Approximately 120 were injured. And of course, Israel is going to respond to those.
We can see the problem.
וואו, זה יפה! וואו. שמעון, אתה רואה? קבלו את זה מלמעלה?
All right. So a little bit more about what's going on in Iran. The Iranian people are rejoicing. There's numerous videos that come out now on social media that the Iranians are dancing, celebrating in the streets. They're applauding the death of Khamenei. They're shouting death to the regime, which they've been actually doing for several months now. There were many, some say as many as 20 to 30,000 of the protesters have been killed in Iran the last few months. After a period of mourning, those protests restarted approximately a week and a half ago. Now those same people are taking to the streets to celebrate what is hopefully the beginning of the end of what many people have called one of the bloodiest regimes in the history of the world. I also want to share with you this. As you know, here at Real Vida TV, we're always interested in the story of the global persecuted church. One of the most persecuted churches and nations for the church in the world is Iran, where believers are routinely tortured, imprisoned, executed. I want to show you this video now that I found of some Persians or Iranians who are worshiping and singing in Farsi, which is their native language, the song Waymaker, as they're worshiping and seeking God during this very critical time for their nation. So one important part of the aspect of this story is that Iran has put out a notice that we're going to play for you in just a second here, advising the world's shippers to stay out of the Straits of Hormuz. That, of course, is where a huge percentage of the world's oil passes every single day. We'll see how long the United States and Israel allows that to continue. But as of the time that we're recording these videos, that is the situation.
This is Sepah Navy, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy. From now on, all navigating through the Strait of Hormuz is forbidden. No ship in every type is not allowed to pass from the Strait of Hormuz till next notice. This is Sepah Navy, out.
Here in downtown Santa Fe in New Mexico, the question is always green or red, green chili or red chili on the enchiladas. And the correct answer, according to me, is Christmas or Navidad, which is los dos, both salsas. So just one more update. I wanted you to be able to see this building because green and red is everywhere you go in New Mexico. An interesting aspect of this story as well is Donald Trump and the statements that he's made. We're going to play or show you some of those statements in just a second here. As of today, today is Saturday, February 28th. As of right now, Trump has essentially given an ultimatum for those left in the regime, the power at the top of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard and the Ayatollah's top people. He's giving them the option of laying down their arms and essentially ceasing to have hostilities. And essentially what he's saying is if you don't give up now, then you're not going to have a choice, and you're going to die. And so these are very bold words. Obviously, Trump, both with the attack on Venezuela and this attack now, which was done by Israel in what they're calling Operation Roaring Lion, but it's in association with the United States, of course, and the United States partners, which, as of the time that we're recording this, include other Muslim Arab countries such as Saudi Arabia. Of course, you know, if you've been watching this program for long, that Iran and Saudi Arabia have a lot of beef. They don't get along well. They're rivals in many ways. And so it remains to be seen if that alliance will hold up and how long the world will support this attack on the Iranian regime. But these are extremely bold statements being made. And obviously, we don't have any idea this quickly, ultimately, what the complete response of the Iranian regime will be. They had to know, of course, because it was open. It was an open secret that this attack was going to happen. So the real question is, what do they have in store? What comes next? Are they even capable of responding? Many people believe that the U.S. Has such sophisticated surveillance that Iran really is not capable of responding. And yet they got a lot of missiles off today. We're going to show you some more of those interceptor the interceptors, of course, pulling the missiles down out of the air, especially as they launch them towards U.S. bases in Iraq. They launch them towards U.S. naval assets, which as of right now are undisclosed. I did see today that the USS Gerald Ford turned off its location. So right now, the Gerald Ford is in the Mediterranean Ocean, and only the officer that's commanding it knows where that naval vessel is. It's the largest and most powerful warship in the history of the world. And what I've read is that if they have turned off their transponder or whatever you want to call it to be able to find it, it's not because they're hiding, it's because they're hunting. And so we'll show you a little bit more of the naval assets as well.
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. To the members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the armed forces, and all of the police, I say tonight that you must lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or, in the alternative, face certain death. So, lay down your arms, you will be treated fairly with total immunity, or you will face certain death. Khamenei, one of the most evil people in history, is dead. This is not only justice for the people of Iran, but for all great Americans and those people from many countries throughout the world that have been killed or mutilated by Khamenei and his gang of bloodthirsty thugs. He was unable to avoid our intelligence and highly sophisticated tracking systems, and working closely with Israel, there was not a thing he or the other leaders that have been killed along with him could do. This is the single greatest chance for the Iranian people to take back their country. We are hearing that many of their IRGC, military, and other security and police forces no longer want to fight and are looking for immunity from us. As I said last night, now they can have immunity. Later, they only get death. Hopefully, the IRGC and police will peacefully merge with the Iranian patriots and work together as a unit to bring back the country to the greatness it deserves. That process should soon be starting, in that not only the death of Khamenei, but the country has been, in only one day, very much destroyed and even obliterated. The heavy and pinpoint bombing, however, will continue uninterrupted throughout the week, or as long as necessary, to achieve our objective of peace throughout the Middle East and indeed the world. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
نوير هاي صواريخ نوير نوير إعداد الله.
All right. So here we are walking downtown Santa Fe. This story happened while we were in a prison in New Mexico today, a women's prison. And as soon as we saw the story we wanted to get it out to you as quickly as possible. Obviously, we're going to be doing a deeper dive this next week when we get back in studio. But we thought it was important to go ahead and let you know some of the basics of this story as it's developing. It's our first special report, breaking news. I'm sure it won't be the last. Thanks for joining us for Real Vida TV. And remember, in a world full of darkness, be the light.